Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Golden Gloves Chat Show. With me, Lerena Peter Smith, the trainer. Fantastic job you guys did on Saturday night. Wow, what a brilliant performance. The elimination, you're up against Ryad Merhy, a tough one, 31-1. A lot of people thought maybe Merhy could beat you, and you definitely didn't believe that, and you changed their mind and you beat him for that silver title. So well done, Lerena, brilliant stuff. You're now in the Bridgerweight division, you're number 1 in the world. You're now going to fight Rozanski for the WBC World Title in the Bridgerweight division. It's a fantastic performance. Before I talk to Peter, I just want to ask you, Kevin, firstly, what's impressing me the most about you, and we've spoken about it the last few years on this website and off camera, and that is you've got that nice peekaboo style now, which obviously Peter's helped you work on, a la Mike Tyson, and your come forward style is absolutely brilliant. I like what you're doing now. For me, a guy that's coming forward and throwing most punches is winning a fight, and you're doing a great job at that. So let me speak to you first then, Peter. What did you do differently with a young Kevin Lerena from 2-3 years ago to make him this aggressive come forward fighter that he's doing such a good job of?
Thanks, Brian. You know, obviously my techniques and that I work with comes from my experience in the past, and two of the greatest trainers I had actually molded me into that mindset, and two of them was Odell Hadley from the US, another one Kevin Young, who was one of the orphans under Cus Motto. So he grew up with Cus, and when I was living with these guys, Odell Hadley actually was Tony Tubbs' trainer, and he was like the greatest rated trainer in America, and he took me on, and I was so grateful. I mean, it was one of the best experiences of my life. That's when I actually saw my career go from where and he saw the potential in me, and he couldn't believe that I wasn't a world champion. And he saw the things, why I was doing so many bad habits in my career, and what made me, how he molded me into a different fighter in a matter of no time. And from, I think, experience, obviously experience, is what I hand over to my fighters. And you know, there's do's and don'ts in boxing. You know, there's things that I paid the price for, and my trainers have paid the price in their experiences that mold greatness. And you know, when you're molding champions and you're molding fighters into champions, you know, the technique that you imply grows into the latter time of his career. So if I implant incorrect style or technique for a fighter, remember, not everyone can fight peekaboo. I know it looks good and whatever for some people, but some guys are actually strong enough and they got that style where it's their body. You know, I'm not going to turn a Klitschko into a peekaboo style fighter. You know, it's a different technique, and that's where I had the great experiences of Kevin Young and Odell Hadley, Odell was a mastermind of boxing, and he actually believed if Tony Tubbs wasn't on drugs, he would have beaten Mike Tyson, and I could see why. So when he took me on and he made me understand why, it was like in depth. I lived with these guys. It wasn't like that was my university into boxing. You know, I got graded into honors in this game, and that's what I'm giving back to these guys. And it's not because it's not because I think whatever. Every day is a challenge for me to imply. And when I look at the opponents, like Ryad Merhy, I go and study and I watch what goes on, and I've got to take my intellect from my trainers and my experience being in the ring, as you know what it's like to be in there. So I'm not going to handpick at things and advice where I know, you know, people say, oh, styles make fights. It's incorrect. Styles don't make fights. Your technique on how you implement the fight plan wins. That's why Mayweather won all the time.
Thanks for that insight into that. The viewers will love that. Let's talk to the champion himself, Kevin Lerena. Kevin, so it's been, how long would you say, 2-3 years, maybe even longer, where you've actually started coming forward and being aggressive, and you know, you get in there with a purpose now, which is what I like. You know, we can speak about Ryad Merhy just now, but I didn't find that he had the purpose like you did. He got in, he's a good counter puncher, he's scientifically brilliant, he places his punches nicely, but he wasn't a back foot holder. You got in there, you had a purpose, you wanted to win, you could see, you had that look in your eye, you were coming forward. Talk to us, before we go through the fight, where that came about, that you wanting to be so aggressive and confident?
I think it came with Peter's training style, to be honest, because Peter's style is you must let that man respect you. And I think, I must be honest with you, I think when you say Ryad Merhy looks like he had no purpose in there, I think we didn't allow him to have a purpose.
Yes, I'm going to
Yeah.
I'm going to say that as well, for sure.
Didn't you see him speaking to himself?
So he
was trying to encourage himself to get back because Kevin kept catching him.
And that's thanks to the game plan
Yes.
that Peter implemented. Peter said to me in a minute, I can say the game plan now, he says, Kevin, you go out there, you hurt this guy, you put him on the back foot. Number one, he can't fight forward. He can't fight going backwards, he does well going forward. He says, you put him on the back foot, you hurt him early at your fight. And that was echoing in my head. So it's all a game plan that Peter implemented from 8 weeks out, even going into this fight. This is how you need to beat this guy. If you go back or you don't move your head, you will lose.
And he's a great counterpuncher, and Kevin took that away from him. So it was a plan because it was the way he counterpunches is one of the most devastating counterpunches I've seen.
Yeah.
That's why watching his best fight was Mori.
Yes.
And what I saw after that fight, when he had no answers, he became this, he started mastering his craft and counterpunching, and then he started eliminating guys after that.
Yeah, no, brilliant tactics, and yes, exactly what you said, Kevin. You're only as good, I always say in the commentary box as well, you're only as good as your opponent allows you to be. So you perfectly well said, you didn't allow him to counterpunch, to do what he does best. You just jumped on him and you fired, and you stuck to the game plan, which well done. Great work from you guys. Let's talk about the fight, Kevin. First 4 rounds, I thought you won the first round, and then you might have won the second. And after 4 rounds, it was quite close. I personally had your head on points. 2 of the judges had it even. So they're obviously looking at a different fight. How did you feel after the first 4 rounds?
Obviously, I was finding my rhythm, and Peter, wanted me to land my left on him. He was working on that a lot with me. So it was just a matter of time. I just was wary of the fact that Peter mentioned to me, well, not that only Peter mentioned to me, we studied that this guy is a good counterpuncher. So you need to move your head, you need to be calculated, and perhaps maybe it made it look like I was trying to overthink too much, but I really wasn't. I was just trying to make sure I don't get caught with his counter left hook, or I don't get, because that's what he does best. I mean, that's what he was trying to do, and winning the rounds, and obviously I'd get back to the corner and Peter would give me the game plan for the next round and do this, do that. I think just chipping away at the block, I could definitely say, yes, I could have been more aggressive. I do believe I could have. I had him hurt at times, I could have been aggressive, but at the end of the day, this was just an objective on my mission. My objective was to win. And I wanted to win because when you come off a loss, I know you've had losses before and Peter's had losses in his career before, it's a lot to take in, and I didn't jump into a comeback fight against a South African local. I jumped into a hard fight, so I also had to be calculated in my approach and get back to the corner and listen to what Peter's saying to me, and then try to apply it in the ring, And even I was trying to apply it, sometimes I couldn't apply it because I was, sometimes the man moving in front of you doesn't allow you to apply it. So I think I was ahead in the fight. Well, the first 8 rounds, I think were close, but I did give myself, I felt I was the aggressor.
Yes.
But yeah, a game plan by Peters was a winning game plan. So I just tried to stay focused and not to slip up and make a mistake.
Yeah, I know your game plan was good. So the first 4 rounds they had even. I just slightly the next 4 rounds. We're talking 4 rounds at a time because of the WBC's scoring. So we knew after 4 rounds that you was ahead on one scorecard. After 8 rounds, one judge still had a draw, which I don't know what fight he was watching, but it was 76-76. 79-73, 79-74 in your favour, which was great. So you put the pedal down and you started fighting. You were throwing much more punches than him. You were coming forward. And you were looking smooth. You were looking confident after 8 rounds and winning really quite clearly. Last 4 rounds, once again, you jumped on the pedal and you. What did Peter say to you? Peter, let me ask you. After 8 rounds. When after 8 rounds, because obviously in our time we didn't have that with the scoring and that, which I don't know if it benefits you or doesn't. You can tell us as a top trainer. So after 8 rounds, at least you knew that Kevin was well ahead on points. Do you listen to that and tell your fighter what to extra stuff or anything?
No, I don't. I encourage him to do more, but I actually, just to jump ahead before your question, I actually honestly believe Kevin could have stopped Murray.
Yeah.
And I know what Kevin's capable of doing. So I knew in the game plan, Kevin had him at moments controlling him. When I looked at the scorecards, the first 4 rounds, I was actually shocked. I saw it was, first 4 was, they had two had a draw and one had 2 points ahead.
Yes.
And I said, whoa, that's a bit close for, and I did encourage him not to say what I saw. I said, Kev, listen, you got to pick it up. It's very close. And then Kevin came and started smoking him at times and put him back and walk him down and made him miss a lot. Although we only got to about the 8th round, I was so in the zone. I looked quickly at the and I saw him ahead. But I said, I still looked, it was too close, and I just said, yes, that's weird. That's not, that doesn't seem right. But then Kevin on the 9th round really capitalized on him. That's when his corner got very upset about, because you actually almost had him out. I saw he was rocked. He walked out back to his corner, and I thought, wait, we got it. This is
it almost looked like he ran out of ideas.
No, he was.
And
he was totally neutralized.
He knew he was losing.
He was confused. He didn't know how to fight. And even his trainer said to me at the end of the fight, he said, "Listen, I've got to commend you." He said, "Bro, we looked in at every angle and we had no answer." He said, "I just want to say thank you for what you guys, for having us and anything." But he was like, he was actually complimentary. He was actually arrogant. He was actually very arrogant.
Kevin, you are obviously a smart guy, and it shows in the ring as well when you fight. So after 8 rounds, are you listening to what they're saying about the scoring?
No, I was listening to Peter.
If I'm not
mistaken, if Peter said to me, Kev, it's still close, you need to pick it up. I remember him saying that to me. Then also, he said to me, you've got this guy wants to quit, he's hurt, Kevin.
Yeah. So you didn't even know the score?
I heard them calling scores, but I wasn't paying attention to it. And then Peter said to me, "You've got this guy hurt. He doesn't want to be in there. Take it to him. Take him out of there."
I saw his expression.
And his demeanor was broken. And then obviously going into the last 4, which is what you asked about, I was ahead and it was pretty close. The 12th round, he tried to give his best. But I just did a calculated approach, and I just wanted to get this objective out the way so I can go to mission accomplished and win the gold. And that was the whole point, to get back to anyways. So.
The nice thing, you kept getting stronger in the fight and kept coming forward, and you just had that winning way about you, which is great. I mean, the scoring shows at the end, 118, 110. I mean, that's almost a shutout. That's brilliant. 116, 112. I tried to be unbiased. I was probably around there with my scoring. 115, 113, way out. It was at the Belgian judge. I mean, how can you look at a fight and see 2 points in it when, you won so many rounds?
Yeah.
So at worst 4.5.
His team told him, I think, clearly lost something.
So, anyway, it doesn't matter. At least the right man won. You got the decision on all 3 judges' scorecard and a fantastic victory. Peter Keaton Gums, obviously, before we talk about Kevin's big fight, did a good job on the undercard as well, so congratulations there. He's obviously going to be in a Bridgerweight division as well.
Yeah.
So magnificent.
Heavyweights, I don't mind him fighting heavyweights here in Africa, it's fine.
But he weighs 100 kilos, doesn't he?
Yeah, he weighs 100 kilos, but I know he fought for the heavyweight title in South Africa, but that's okay. You got to beat. You got to win the local scene before you can.
No, he looks like a star. I mean, he's really looking much better than he did as a cruiserweight.
He's maturing. He's getting there.
Yes.
He's getting more comfortable. His confidence level is going well, and that's what I need. That progress.
He's got nice power in the right hand.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He made Kevin there.
So it's great sparring for you as well.
Yeah.
He's obviously learning from you.
Yeah, great
and it's good.
We push each other because he's nice and young, and he's
almost the same height as you in that as well.
Yeah, he's a bit taller than me,
and
he's hungry to be successful. So it's nice to have because he pushes me, and then obviously I try to push him too.
Yeah. Well, it's great that you've got the 2 best big guys in the country.
I think he can do really well. I really do think that. I'm not just saying that because he's my teammate. I'm honest. I think he can do well under Peter's tutelage. I think he can go far. So let's see where he goes.
Okay, so we spoke about the Ryad Merhy fight, which you did fantastically well. Let's talk about your next fight, the big fight for the WBC Bridgerweight World Title against the champion Lukasz Rozanski from Poland, who's 15-0 with 14 knockouts. So this guy can fight. I watched him fight. He's a bit wild, but you can't underestimate him because he's strong and he just comes in fighting on all cylinders. Have you watched him fight, obviously?
I watched him versus Babbitt,
Yes.
and then obviously Peter watched him as well. Obviously, it's evident he's got knockout power.
Yeah.
He's got a good KO ratio, but I don't worry about this thing. Peter, if I can stick to the game plan, I would have beaten Dubois. I mean, I would have smoked him.
Yeah.
You know, if I could just stick to the game plan like I did on
That
Saturday night,
it's teamwork, for sure.
and I'll win. I know he's a big puncher. I respect the man. He's got a KO ratio.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. But well, like Peter said, Ryad Merhy's team, they thought they're going to steamroll me.
Yeah.
And Peter formulated a game plan that after the fight they looked very confused.
Yeah. No, you saw it in that.
So I
That's what it's all
like
about.
being the bit of the underdog and not respected in terms of as a fighter by international opponents or by local people. But we just continue to keep quiet, continue to sell out Empress Palace, continue to deliver, and that means we're doing the right thing. So I just want to keep winning. You know, me and Peter, we got maybe 4 years together. I don't want to box very long in the sense of I don't want to become a journeyman. I just want to capitalize and do my utmost.
You don't want to become an opponent. You want
Yeah.
to go out as a champion. But at this stage, it looks
Seriously,
like you
I just
do
want to do my best, and there were, like Peter knows, after the loss there was a change in my mindset and what Peter wants from me, and I can hear. I know Peter. I mean, people don't realize we've been together for 12 years. I know exactly what this man wants and how he works and how his training skills work, and it's not for everybody. So when guys say they studied me, I just said, okay, well, you can say, but you actually don't know what I'm doing. They don't know actually how we work. I think it's easy to sit on a TV and say, okay, he does this, he does that. But on the night, when he's calling the combinations to me or giving me an instruction to weave and get out this way, they don't know that. But he knows that and I know that. And then they kind of become neutralized. So I respect everybody, big puncher, like Dubois is a big puncher. If you let a big puncher hit you, you're going to go.
Yeah, people don't.
But if you don't and you be smart and elusive, you'll win. And I've just rekindled that in me again to just be dynamic, be special, and just try my best.
And people don't realize behind the scenes, when you're working with a good trainer like Peter Smith, you spend hours and hours and hours every day. Not just every week, every day. And boxing is an everyday thing.
And repetitive repetition.
And you do it over and over for hours and hours. You know, let's talk Lukasz Rozanski. What do you think about Kevin's next opponent? I don't think Kevin's an underdog. Not from what I've seen.
No,
I think Kevin should outsmart him.
Rozanski is easy for me to read because he's aggressive. He puts them on the back foot, and most guys don't know how to fight him because they neutralize, they go defensive. So that's his strength, what I've seen him. That's about all I've seen him. But will he be able to handle the onslaught back at him? Because defensively, I don't know if he's really got what it takes defensively. And, he's getting rid of the guys quickly where he can, but that's going to stop right here. It's going to stop. And what's going to work is what we're going to work on. And I'm very confident about that fight, and I don't see him having a greater plan, because over and over and over, he's doing repetitively the same thing, so he's more understanding for me, and it'll be for Kevin as well, because it'll be perfect help. Keaton will be working with Kevin on that one. It's a perfect style. We've got a perfect plan to work on him. We'll study further as we go along. I mean, the game plan's got to be perfect.
That's the next big one, and he's obviously from Poland, so I believe the fight might go to purse bids, but I know Golden Gloves Rodney Berman is going to work his heart out to make the fight happen in South Africa. Just put it off. Rodney Berman, Golden Gloves CEO, will work. He says he'll try and move heaven and earth to make the fight happen in South Africa. And we know he's the kind of promoter that if he says that it's going to happen, So we look forward to it happening in South Africa, brought to you by World Sports Betting once again at Empress Palace on the Golden Glove Show. Kevin, you'd be the only third South African then to win a WBC World Title. So that's absolutely fantastic. Sugarboy Malinga won it, Dingaan Tubela won it. Exciting times for South Africa. We want to win the World Cup Rugby for the 4th time this year. And we want Kevin Lerena to be our 3rd WBC World Champion. So thank you, Kevin Lerena. Thank you for chatting to us. Thank you to Peter Smith. We look forward to those big fights coming and exciting times for boxing in this country. From me, Brian Mitchell, thank you for watching.